Hi crafty friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing with you an outgoing swap made in the Bridgerton style for the Lady Whistledown Season 2 swap hosted by Tiffany, who is Happy Girl Tiff here on YouTube and on Instagram as well. So I was fortunate enough to be asked by Tiffany to participate in this part 2 swap. She hosted a first season swap, and I think she's just calling this one season 2 because it's the second Bridgerton swap she's hosting. And the requirements for this were a crafter's choice, a trinket box, 6 embellishments, a sequin mix, and a dangle. And you could make one or make 2, and you would receive what you sent in return. So either 1 or 2. So this is due soon, and I just wanted to finish packaging up, but first wanted to show you what I made. I used the most gorgeous Prima paper collection, and I didn't bring it with me over here, but it's called Avec Amour. It is, I believe, a Valentine's Day collection, but it has little Victorian ladies in it, and lots of frames and jewels and birds and just all things that seemed Bridgerton to me, and the color palette was just so beautiful. I had to use this. I have participated in a Bridgerton swap in the past, hosted by Lacey the Cheeky Bum, and I used a Minte collection called Her Story, which is beautiful and very appropriate in that it uses a lot of books and very girly stuff, a lot of dress forms and pearls and heels and lots of brocade looking wallpapery kind of stuff, but it wasn't really my most favorite color palette. This is, I love pink and mint together, so I decided to use this one, and long story short, here we are. My crafter's choice, I don't really know what my crafter's choice is. I made a lot of embellishments, so I guess just the extra embellishments will be my crafter's choice, or perhaps it will be the box that I'm sending it in. This is the lid. I was in Home Goods. Oops, it already fell off. And, that's because there was 2 doilies stuck together. And in the clearance section, they had this beautiful pink box, very, very sturdy, with gold polka dots. I thought it would be really pretty with this beautiful Scrap Diva butterfly that I created as part of her design team, guest design team, excuse me. And I just think it's gorgeous. I think this will probably be considered my crafter's choice. Because I think it's really sturdy, reusable box that you could put dies in, trims, stickers, jemmies, whatever you want in your craft room, and it's beautiful to display. So when I re-glue this on here, this is how I'm going to be presenting it. I'll show you the bottom in a second, and I've made a tag using my Cricut to cut this intricate cameo silhouette of a lady, and I gave her a little pearl earring, used a butterfly and a flower, and instead of using straight up gold on this swap, I used rose gold. So I found some rose gold glitter and rose gold foil cardstock, and I just think it's really beautiful. When you see some of the papers, they do have a little bit of rose gold foiling in it. So I am going to print out something in the Lady Bridgerton, or Lady Whistledown, I should say, style for the tag, for the outside of the package. And I will share that with you soon. So this is merely the lid to my box. And since my box fell apart, I'm going to use it to hold what's in my trinket dish. I found these... I think they're like a party favor holder, like for sweets or a mini cupcake or something, for showers or fancy parties. And it looks like a crown, which I thought was very Bridgerton. And so this is my trinket box. I have said in the past, I don't have a lot of trinkets. I'm not the best dangle maker. I don't enjoy making them, and I am not one to go seeking out all of these goodies, but I found some good stuff to include in my Trinket box. So I'll share that with you. I found these cute little gold frames, which are really beautiful in person. I have to say the quality is just stunning on Amazon. And so I bought some and I'm including them. By the way, I've made two, one to swap and one for Tiffany. And there is just one difference between them, which we'll get to shortly. So those frames I'm including. This frame, I took a piece of the ephemera and I did the same for the swap, and I glued it to the back, and it's a picture of a bird and some flowers. And then I just took some glossy accents and like literally poured a bunch in there to make it look glossy, so it looks like a painted canvas. I just thought that was cute. You know, it would look really cute with a little hanger on it. It could be a little piece of decor, or you could just stick it on a project. I think that's pretty. So anyway, I hope that gives Tiffany some ideas of what you can do with those little frames. So I've also found like a book brooch, I guess you would call it, that happens to be like a locket. Just thought that would be cute. I've included a tassel, a key, some teapots, some pocketbooks, these crown bead spacers. They're really cute. I have them in gold and rose gold. So I've included a bunch of those, and I've included a couple of these gold hangers and some gold bows, and a couple of wire wrapped beads in the colors of the collection that I used, a bow button, and a couple of other little charms that just seemed appropriate for the theme. So that's what I'm including in my little Trinket box, which I've just hot glued a little bow to. And if I can find the link again, I'll link this down below. I actually have to say the quality of these is really good, and they're such a good size. Those frames fit in it and all these goodies, including these larger wire wrap beads. So there's my Trinket box. My sequin mix. This is in a holographic pouch, but I will show you it's in one of my embellishments, so I don't have to open it. I've already tied it shut with this bow, and I've included this crown-topped rose gold spoon. I just think that's very pretty. So there's my sequin mix I'm sharing. Nice generous amount. I'm also sharing some of that PET sticker tape. These are beautiful flowers that I just felt went with this paper collection. So I've given Tiffany and the swap partner, you know, a really nice long length of those. And then let's get into what I am sending. So this is the bottom of the box. As you can see, it's a really good size, really good and sturdy. So I really hope whoever receives that likes that. You have to like pink, I guess. So I haven't packaged these up yet. Oh, wait, one more thing. I'm sending a little, a tiny, beautiful tin. It matches this collection exactly of traditional breakfast tea, English breakfast tea. And I've attached another one of those rose gold spoons there with a gingham bow. I just think that's a little extra I'm sending to each of them. And then we'll just get right into my embellishments. Okay, so I've said in the past, and I'll say it again and again, I don't enjoy making dangles. I can do it, and I made a beautiful one for this swap, and that's packaged for my swap partner. If I have time, I'll share that at the end. But that was all I could manage. It's so tedious, and I really just have a hard time closing those tiny little rings and keeping them closed. And my apologies in advance to whoever receives mine. some of the beads are going to come off. I'm just telling you. Just moving it from one place to the other, something fell off, you know. So I did my very best, and I was really happy with how it looked. But I just couldn't bring myself to make 2 of them. So for Tiffany instead, I created this, I don't know, this the trim, I don't know what you would call it, dress. And I followed a tutorial from a friend of mine, Lorrie, Lorrie is Inspired. She's the most fabulous crafter. She makes the most gorgeous, gorgeous things. And just recently she put up a tutorial on how to make these. I just think this is the cutest thing I've ever seen. You use those gold hangers that I included in my Trinket box. And this is just all trims. This is ribbon, and they're not hot glued. They could be taken off and used, so nothing is hot glued underneath there. That's all done on a piece of string and tied in the back, so they could be pulled off and used if wanted, but I just think it's really, really pretty. So I am gifting her this instead. This was my first attempt at it. It is not the best. I suspect the more you do, the better you get at this. But I am very happy with how it turned out. And thank you, Lorrie, for such a wonderful tutorial and inspiring me to try something new. Because normally I would make a trim tassel, but this is even better, and it just really felt right for a lady whistle down Bridgerton swap. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. And again, I used all the colors from the paper collection, the hot pink, the pale pink, this nice light teal, aqua, whatever you want to call it. I've stuck some pearl trim in there and some gold, and put this little bow on the back. I mean, it's just, it's so pretty. I'm so happy with how this turned out. I hope she isn't disappointed that I didn't send her a dangle. Honestly, I think this is better. Just my opinion, though. I know everybody loves a good dangle, and I do too. Are you kidding me? But just not the ones I make. So I am sending that in lieu of a dangle to Tiffany. Otherwise, everything is exactly the same. So I'm just going to start. This is my favorite embellishment that I created. I absolutely love this. This is a paperclip banner that I have used some of the paper collection. Here you can see there's the rose gold foiling in it, and it's just so, so pretty. This is a KS Craft paperclip banner mini album, I think it's called, a cutting die, and I've layered it all up with a rose gold doily in the back, and a rosette made from the paper collection. And then I found this really wide teal velvet ribbon, and I made a sewn ruffle from it and used that as part of my layering. And then I made this adorable little book, and I inked the edges. It's a cutting die. You'll see a larger version of this coming up, and then just layered up with all kinds of little bits and pieces. So I just think this is sweet, and it is my most favorite embellishment that I made for this. I did stick some like pretty pink holographic sequins on here for a little sparkle, a tiny butterfly, and this little dangle of the crown, and one of my wire wrapped beads. By the way, I use a looper tool when I wire wrap my beads. Haven't quite figured out how to do it with just those round pliers. It doesn't turn out real nice when I do it. Practice makes perfect, I'm sure. But anyway, so this is my first embellishment, and I love, 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 love that one. That's my favorite. Another one to keep going on the book theme. I made the larger version of that book, and I'm super happy with how that turned out too. I have it all, you know, stacked up and bent, so it looks like it's just an open book. It's very large, but I think it'd be really pretty like on a card or something. I did stitch with gold thread down the middle, make it look like a real, you know, bound book. I've used this feather cutting die to look like a quill pen. I did dip the end in some black, but doesn't look like you can see it real well. I've made a tiny bookmark with a gold tassel, and I'm just leaving that there. Maybe she has a tiny book she can use that in. And I've just layered it up a flower cluster here, stuck a gold crown in it, and some acetate flower stickers, and used this tiny sentiment, a new book. I really love this. It is not something that I've ever made before, so I'm super happy with how that turned out too. I'm not packaging everything like really fancy either because of the box. I don't really need to back them on anything, and I don't have tons of this paper. So another thing I made that not including is one of my embellishments, but I just really love is this really sturdy bookmark because as you know, a lady Whistledown writes for her own little rag paper, which is like a gossip column, and she's a big reader. The character that is Lady Whistledown, she's big into her books, so I thought I'd make a pretty bookmark. It says read more books, and it has these flat puffy stickers on it, so it won't take up too much room in a book. And I did stitch it, and it's all layered up, and it's super thick and sturdy, and it's just very pretty. I love this paper. Love, love, love this paper with the dove. I think that's a mourning dove. So that's something else I'm including. Here's another one of my favorite. I guess I like them all, really. Embellishments. This, I made a library pocket. This, I believe, is an older KS craft die. You get a better look at the papers here with the gold. It's not gold, rose gold foiling. I've popped a Scrap Diva swan on the front, which is layered up with a vellum rosette and some of this teal colored mesh, an open petal flower made of rose gold. I think this is a Scrap Diva, and this is some of the ephemera from the collection. And it's just a library pocket. And in the pocket, I have, this comes with the die, this piece of board. You could attach a note to it, or I have a tiny postcard. I don't know if that's coming through. It is embossed. I just thought that would be cute on there. And I've put these little dangle on there. So that's another one of my embellishments. All of my embellishments are kind of big, I have to say, which is not something I always do, but these are all really big embellishments for this swap. I made a Scrap Diva. This is a wedding dress cutting die, but I just think it's very appropriate to the times of the Bridgerton series. And I used a piece of the beautiful paper. I put a little bit of rhinestones on there, wrapped some, I guess that's a platinum color thread, and used a rose gold hanger. It's very simple, but I just think it'd be a really cute tag, or something like you could put a note in something. And I just made one. I could have made that a shaker. I don't know why I didn't, but I didn't. I wanted to see the paper because the paper is just so pretty. This is where you'll get to see my sequin mix. I've made this beautiful frame, oval frame. It's called the Victorian oval frame from KS Craft. And I got this as part of a design team package from Hannah, and I absolutely love this cutting die. It's cuts like butter, and it makes a beautiful shaker. Comes with the piece to make a shaker. I've I've used the 5mm foam and a gorgeous piece of paper in the background with that dove again. And I've just put some flowers and a metal crown with some rhinestones on it, and a little banner saying "You're the best," and a tiny butterfly. I love this. I think it's very pretty. I actually thought about using this on the lid of my box instead of the butterfly, but the butterfly's perfect size. So that's another one of my embellishments. I think by the time we're all done, I have 9 embellishments total, but that's just the tag for this one. I had to make an embroidery hoop because I just love this cutting die. I believe this is KS Craft as well. This is the smaller butterfly that comes with the Scrap Diva large butterfly that I showed you. That's on my lid. It's just like the baby version. And I just used some of the ephemera behind it, a teacup and a bird on the side. I just left some loose threads because this is an embroidery hoop, and in my world, just so appropriate. Every season of Bridgerton is a different character's quest to find true love and marriage. And in that era, they didn't always go hand in hand, as we know. So that's another one of my embellishments. That's actually the smallest one. Oh, maybe not. There we go. I have 2 in 1 bag here. Here's a smaller frame. This one I did not make a shaker, but I did use my Cricut to cut this silhouette of this like queen or princess. And I used the Sentiment Sweetheart, layered up on some flowers. Just thought it was very pretty. Be a pretty card. Something to put on a card, I think. And I also made this tiny lady bag. Love this little die. And I did make it a shaker. This is not the shaker mix that I'm including, but parts of it. Because this is such a tiny embellishment, it doesn't look right with big sequins. So anyway, I just have this all layered up. I used a piece of that pearl trim to look like, you know, a tiny handle for your bag, and a little butterfly. Left it without a sentiment. Hopefully whoever received, well, this one's going to Tiffany, but the recipients should be able to find a way to use that. So, and last but not least, I've made a teacup, of course, and I did not put a sentiment on this. Don't think I'm going to. This is the sequin mix, though. Again, as you can see it. It's just all the pretty teal pink. And I did find rose gold sequins. Anyways, and I used rose gold glitter, 5mm foam, and I stuck a little birdie friend in there. I just think everything's very soft and feminine and, you know, a little shabby chic, I guess. That lends itself very well to this theme. But that's everything I've created. Oh, I will show you my package. This is how I'm sending it. I'm going to just send, because I couldn't fit everything in. I'm going to pull back a little bit. I can't really. Couldn't fit everything in the box. I wish I could have. I tried to, but I couldn't. So my dangle is in this box. And as I said, Tiffany will not be getting a dangle. My apologies. And the Trinket box just couldn't fit in there. It's a little on the large side. And I will just be putting this on the outside. And this butterfly has a pearl trim bow that I put on it instead of a satin bow. But otherwise, they're all exactly the same. So I do hope you enjoyed watching what I made, that it inspired you in some way, and that you'll go ahead and go over to Tiffany, who is at Happy Girl Tiff, and watch all of the reveals. There are some very talented ladies in this group, and I can't wait to see what everybody's made. Thanks, and I'll see you on the next time. Hey guys, just a little bonus. I did forget to share my dangle, and so I've opened up my swap package to show you what I've created. This is my dangle, and I've made every wire, well, maybe not all of them, there might be one or two on here that were gifted to me. I've made wire wrapped all these beads myself. I wanted to keep a very specific color scheme. I've added what few charms I felt I had to embellish in the Lady Whistledown Bridgerton theme. I have a bouquet of flowers, a pocketbook, a crown, this little heart key, like key to my heart kind of thing. Of course, there's a bee on here, some butterflies, and there's my tiny bee. And some bows, of course, more butterflies. I'm kind of pleased. I felt like this looked a little bit like a cameo. Kind of pleased. Oh, there's also a swan on there too, a little white swan. It's probably the best dangle I've ever made, and that's a lot for me. So anyway, just thought I'd come back and share that with you. Thanks, guys. Have a crafty day.